Hey, welcome to Upshifts Creek. We are so glad you found us here. My name is Jana. I am a former pastor and relationship coach of 25 years, turned creative entrepreneur and doing this work here and unpacking the wild ride along the way. I was joined by some lovely ladies and we wanted to resurrect that medicine, and I got the privilege of dissecting every little bit and piecing it all back together and learning editing in the process. Welcome to the episodes before the podcast. The long hours and energy and heart that was put into this work. I'm so honored to bring this work to life so that you guys are back to life so that you guys can enjoy it. Some of us started this work back in 2024 and then it went away late last year. So this is a dissected and pieced back together work of art, a stained glass window, if you will. We reflect on that in our wrap-up sessions. And we have a Wild and Wise season 1 coming soon. So stay tuned, stay connected, stay wild, and stay free. All of our socials and ways to stay connected will be linked in the description. And if you are in a place where you are ready to do some deep dive work, I do have a special place for that, and that is permissiontobe.org, where I hold that space for you. So if you would like to connect there, let's jump on over there. It would be my honor. Enjoy.
Ooh, I like that.
Yes.
How about I do that? I'll do a card pull.
Perfect.
I love
it. It is your birthday.
This is actually perfect because that is how I feel like maybe the energy right now is reflective of me. And just literally when I teach a workshop, when I show up on a podcast, I don't prepare anything at all. I just show up and channel. So I feel like we're all going to get the chance to do that tonight, or like be in that energy, where we just like receiving mode and you're just channeling and receiving divine messages in the moment.
Yeah.
Because that's like, I love this because I feel like we all get to embody me tonight.
Yes.
And it's my birthday. So it feels very divine. So hopefully that translates into just this yummy, supportive, warm, wrapped like a baby in a blanket energy, because that's what I feel like I offer when I hold space for people. It's like I just get to wrap them in this warm love and just hold them and enjoy that I get the honor of doing that without actually having to know what their process is, because they're actually doing the work. So I am just literally holding their hair back while they vomit, It's that kind of like, hey, let it all out. There's no shame, no judgment. So hopefully you guys get to feel that tonight with me holding space.
I love that.
All right. What is the divine intention for tonight? Interesting. It says visions of life before death. Visions of life beyond death. And the number is 44. And there is a crow on there. There is an owl on there.
I have an owl bracelet that I got a while back at a pop-up, and I'm bringing it to Kansas.
Awesome. So who's the peacock?
I'm the peacock.
I saw a video of peacock.
I did have some peacock feather earrings, but
and just the bright colors and just
she has the cock on her head
and be in my natural beauty. Sacred vision is awakening within you. You are becoming blessed with the ability to truly see what is real rather than what appears to be. This is true insight. What was once considered consequential may soon be found to hold little consequence after all. What was once dismissed as irritation or irrelevance may be seen to have great spiritual significance. As mundane as something once appeared, now be worthy of absolute attention. The gift of genuine vision takes you into the being of the universal creator. This is sacred terrain, beyond logic, convention, and that which is limited in any way. The more open you are to receiving true vision, the more love you will feel and recognize within and around you. Something may appear to change form, to be shed, to be lost, or to die, but there is love within it always. The realization doesn't remove the pain of the loss. It does provide a way through which it can be healed and eventually transformed into peace. The vision of love, the truth of all that is, can move us more than anything else possibly can. If you have been wondering about your life path or whether you should take action on a project, or you need inspiration to really move you out of a slump you have fallen into, then this oracle brings you a message of hope. You will receive your vision. You will be graced with a way out of the stagnancy. You will be able to see things differently and more accurately. Any confusion or uncertainty you have felt is going to pass, and you will be left with clear insight. The stories you have been feeling, feeding yourself, or telling yourself may end up looking different to how they appear now. This may surprise you, but the vision that is coming to you will be more truthful and therefore freeing. It will be worth the shock, surprise, or the moment of embarrassment when you realize you have been operating under a false assurance or deluding yourself about the truth of a situation. Those moments will pass, and they are not something to feel bad about. They signify that you are leaving behind a smaller view for a more expansive one. They are a sign that you have outgrown your old vision in order to live in a bigger one. This is good. There might be a moment when your ego feels a bit dented, but sure enough, that too will pass. This oracle comes with additional guidance for you. You are watched over by life and held in protection. Whatever has been bothering you will not be able to harm you. You will prevail. If you are concerned that someone is getting away with something or blocking your path and it seems there is nothing you can do about it, don't worry. The all-seeing eye of life perceives everything without exception. It is the universal mother with eyes not only in the back of her head, but in every living cell of life itself. She misses nothing, and the truth of her vision will always be met with justice, mercy, and wisdom. This oracle is also asking you to shift your perspective and look at an issue of concern a little differently. If you don't know how to do this, simply add the following statement to the end of the healing process below. I call upon the universal eye to show me the most helpful way to see the situation of concern now. In shifting how you look at things, the energy in what is beheld changes. You can see this with people. When you shame and judge someone, they react differently to when they are loved and encouraged. They may succeed nonetheless, but the journey to that success will be different. Looking at something through the eyes of love rather than fear can help us find our way more quickly, easily, and enjoyably. This oracle comes with the additional message that your ability to perceive is expanding into truth. Your ability to be inspired and see the light in all things is unfolding. It must be nourished in your heart with loving acceptance because you are going to help others through your vision, your art, and how you choose to be in the world. The healing process below will help you accept and anchor this developing gift. Say aloud, I now release any fear I have associated with seeing truth, with seeing beyond the veil of illusion, or with my inner vision opening up from my heart, mind, and body. I release any wounding I have received in relation to what I have witnessed at any time, especially where it is based in the fearful responses of others. I ask that my vision be restored to its fullest through compassion and unconditional love. So be it. Close your eyes. Imagine love pouring down from the universe straight into your head, reaching behind your eyes and feeling really good. When you have had enough of this, simply open your eyes and imagine you can breathe or exhale any excess energy gently out through them. Then you have finished your healing process.
Wow. Thanks, Jennifer.
You are welcome.
That was powerful, and it felt like perfect timing. Thank you, universe, for the message.
That was awesome.
I had so many thoughts during all of that, but everything resonated.
Yep, it resonated over here too.
Good.
Birthday
fresh.
for yogis,
Yep.
yes.
Yeah, I love that. I felt it. Like I felt as I was channeling it. I mean, not even knowing what it was going to say, I just like felt all of it. And
I
it
did
just,
too. As soon as you started, I was like, oh, that's what this means. And then it just validated and validated and validated. I was like, yep, wow.
I feel like it helps me to really embrace and appreciate my authority. Like that's how I hear my truth when I'm speaking. And so given opportunities like that to speak truth, and I mean, it was all about speaking truth. So it was just, I love how it always like so divinely works out where I needed to say those words and feel them just as much as you guys needed to hear them. And so it's like I get to embody my authority. It's so magical.
Wow.
It's the best feeling. The one thing I will feel is shame from being seen because I have a fear of being seen. And that's, I mean, the whole key to unlocking my soul is being seen. Like that's the whole reason I'm here. But I have this I don't really fully understand it yet. But the one thing that I know my soul needs is the one thing that I reject. So I don't get rejected by other people. I reject myself. And like I'll feel, especially if I'm like, for example, when I'm teaching a mindful movement class and I get to just dance and move, and I'm basically showing them and holding space by embodying this idea of just letting your body move and to shake out all of those patterns. And that, I mean, I just feel so good. And I don't even think about what anybody else is doing, like whether I am kind of like observing to make sure people are participating. But like if they're just doing like little movements or they're just kind of awkwardly standing there, I can just totally let them be in their space because I know that's exactly where they're supposed to be. Like they have their own lessons. And so it's just this very like accepting space. So there's not room for rejection anywhere, you know?
Yeah.
And what I find is people, when they look around and they see everybody else like letting go, it gives them permission to let go too. So I'll notice like some women will be standing there and like embarrassed and awkward. And then by the end, they are, at least their eyes are closed and you can feel like you can see they're totally into it. And so it's like, it has the opposite effect when you hold that space of no judgment.
Yeah.
Any judgment in the room is going to have to shift and not pushed out, but they're going to fall out, which is totally also fine. Like that's just where people are. I don't take it personal, you know? I can feel that is the brilliance of the whole strategy of a projector is the recognition. You have to get recognized and invited. And so I have just learned to not even like, I won't accept an invitation from somebody who hasn't recognized me yet. Because so I don't set myself up to be in a situation where I am one-on-one with somebody and they're not receiving what I'm giving. Like I just can't put myself in that situation anymore, you know? Because it's pointless. Like it's setting myself up for failure. So I'm really pretty particular about the people that I will sit down and have one-on-ones. Like I have to be recognized and have a formal invitation to work with somebody. So that has totally protected my energy. And that's what your strategy is for. It's to protect you and to pave like this way of ease for you. And it was a really difficult shift, even though everything in me, when I found out that I was a projector, everything in me was just like, we have like reasoning for why I am so different. Like I operate so different from all the generators I'm surrounded by. Like I think a fundamental, so like part of the Enneagram type 4 is feeling fundamentally flawed. And not just like broken, but like the most broken because we have to be unique and different than everybody else. So I have like that, I think is from me, like never feeling like I was able to embrace how I really wanted to be and learning about, you know, being a projector. It was just so freeing for me to actually like be able to accept that I am different and not from a place of like selflessness or like no identity, because that's why I felt broken. But now like I'm different and unique and I feel great about it. And I don't have to identify with it because I guess more expanded to include all of it, you know, and that's the beauty of the type 4 is equanimity. So it's the ability to hold space for all of it. And I've gotten the chance to learn that through life. So like, I was thinking about like today telling my story and stuff. And I really have moved from, it's like making me emotional. I feel like I've really moved from telling my story from a victimhood place, which at the time is totally valid, to now, like, I just want to tell my story of hope and taking this step to, and it's so easy, but it's also so difficult to just love yourself and see yourself, and making that perspective shift from a victim to, I mean, you're everything. You're so divine and so beautiful in all of the mess. And that's what like that equanimity goes back to. It's finding beauty in the mundane. It's finding like the beauty in the pain. And I feel like I've had a front row seat to that gift, you know, like I feel like that's why I kept going through everything that I had to go through, because it was like my higher self was telling me, I promise you it's going to be worth it if you just keep going. And there's no other reason for how I survived 5 suicide attempts and all of the pain that I went through. Like, it sounds so cliche that everything you go through is, you know, for a reason, but I don't want to, you know, minimize people's experiences, but like that was the driving force, I think, in me the whole time. Because I really was like, I wasn't preparing for tonight, but I was just kind of thinking through, like, almost like praying, like, you know, like download into me what it is that I need to say. And it just hit me of like how much I wanted to tell my story from a place of like I rescued myself, but only through my like divine higher self, you know? Mm-hmm. So as opposed to like, I had all this really, really shitty stuff happen to me physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, but I don't even want to like give it more energy than I need to. Like, I can acknowledge I had some fucked up shit happen, but what I want people to hear and feel and see is the overcoming and the like perseverance through it for a reason. Okay. Being able to look back and find the gift in it. I had a really great experience after the worst experience of my life. In 2016 is when I had my last depressive episode. It was right before Thanksgiving, and I had the whole plan, and I ended up taking a bunch of sleeping pills so that I would not follow through with the plan. It was like something came over me and I took all these pills. I threw up. I didn't even have the energy to get up off the floor. And so it like kept me until the next day when I knew somebody would come and find me. And it was my mom. And like, looking from my perspective as a mom now, and like seeing myself as my daughter, and just how like painful that must have been for her to find me that way, but just so grateful that it was her, because she's the most amazing earth angel in the whole world. But I was supposed to go to this like self-development conference the following Monday. It was ULA through like Young Living, and I actually got out of the psychiatric hospital on that day. So I go through this awful experience, and then I'm supposed to be at this conference, and they were so gracious. They like let me move my tickets to the next one. When I went, it was 2 months after I got out of the hospital. And after I got out, I had made this commitment to myself that I had hated myself my whole life, and I couldn't continue to live that way or I was going to die. And when I was in the hospital, you know, I saw all these women that reflected back to me how much they needed to be just shown like their own love for themselves, you know? And so that's when I was like, I am going to learn to love myself. I fucking deserve that. And so that following February, when I went to this conference, I got the chance to have dinner with the creators of this ULA brand.
I needed that little break for a sec because I
know, I think I did.
I'm like,
I know Jana's like, whew.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
just like, just the thought of, you wanting to end it more than just the one time that I knew about. That just hit me. I can't imagine this life without.
You don't have to.
No, I don't.
so much fucking fun, and I'm just like, I can't even imagine without it or where I would be. So you carry that much impact to those that recognize you. And the minute I walked in and met you, I was like,
literally, it was like that.
Oh, I ugly cried
We
like
did.
that, and nobody's been able to make me ugly cry like that. Because all she said was, "What do you need?" Oh, it's ugly.
What I was going to say, and what I was getting ready to say, was that following February, I went to that ULA conference, and I got to sit and have VIP dinner with the creators of the brand. And so he starts asking me, he says, like, so tell me about yourself. And my story at that time would start with, like, well, my parents got divorced when I was 7. And like, I went into all of the things that, changed the course of my life. And he was like, whoa, wait. He's like, I want you to give me 3 ways that your life is better because your dad left. And I was like, what? Like, I've never, ever thought to look at that moment, like, that was so pivotal where my dad left and we lost everything, like, to look and to find the gift in it. Like, that was my mind was blown, like, such a huge perspective shift, especially from somebody who came from having major depressive disorder their whole life and always feeling the weight of, like, the darkness. And to be able to, like, poke my head up and think there's a gift in it, like, there's another way to see it, was so, it was completely life-changing. It was obviously divine, like, it was supposed to happen, but it was just such a, like, 180 moment from where I was just 2 months ago, where I set the intention, I am going to learn to love myself. And then magically, like, all of these things lined up in my life that supported me in that intention that I set. And it truly was, like, I look back and it's so divine. And I'm so grateful. So that's kind of that. I took that approach through from the first time I heard him say that. And so, like, whenever I found myself telling myself a victim story, I would say, okay, what are 3 gifts in this? And it would immediately take me out of that. And now, like, I can't think of anywhere in my life where I feel like a victim anymore. Like, I just am so open to seeing the gift in people, even, like, the worst people. I think that perspective shift has really helped me to settle into my feminine, because then I'm not feeling on guard all the time of, like, who's out to get me, who's gonna hurt me, what do I need to guard myself from? And I'm able to just, like, settle into that projector feminine of just, like, receiving. And it's like, it's so incredibly beautiful to see how it all has unfolded. Now that I'm talking about it, I'm really deeply appreciating the journey over the last 9 years of just, like, this beautiful story that I get to tell now of where I am now, where I get to love and hold space for other women to experience this gift that I have, like, stepped into because it was given to me. The initial pivotal moment where I was able to take myself out, because the thing with depression is you cannot see 5 inches in front of your face. It's so dark. You can't see anything. You can't see, like, you can't see other perspectives. You can't see other options, other possibilities. You can't even dream until that person chooses to open. It's difficult to help somebody with depression, because it almost, like, makes it worse when it's like you're trying to force yourself on them, and then it makes them, like, then push you away, or, try to be what you want them to be, which is what I did a lot through, like, my marriage and everything, is, like, I shut the depression away. So, and put on this happy face and, played this role I was supposed to play. And so, I had developed a coping mechanism that required me to shift because I had to wear a mask. But I was dying on the inside, because it was like that part of a shut away of myself was literally dying. It was when I went to counseling when I was married. And when the counselor told me that I was selfless, I was like, yeah, like, of course, like, I serve everybody in my life. And she was like, no, you are without self. Like, you have no self. And that hit me so hard. that that then I was able to like that. I mean, that was a pivotal moment in my life too, but really it was when I was in the hospital and I was able to get outside of myself because I was in a room full of women that I could feel, and I had to see myself in them. And when I did that, my heart broke for myself. Like, that I just allowed myself to be so shut down. And I did it to myself. Like, I made that choice to push myself down as a coping mechanism. And I attracted people who supported that. And so when I was in the hospital and I was like looking at all these women, like all I wanted to do was to help them. And it was just, and I couldn't because, you know, I was also there because I was in a bad place mentally. But it was almost like it gave me the space to come outside of myself and like look down at like from my higher self's perspective at this situation that I found myself in and just really feeling with these women. I mean, not knowing that I was a projector back then, I was amplifying them. And I had to feel all of that when I was amplifying them. And it broke my heart open. And so I would say that was like the lights on moment where I actually consciously remember coming outside of myself and analyzing the situation I was in. Now, after that, like obviously it took a lot of practice and intention and just being aware of all the moments that I was judging and hating and shaming and shutting myself down. Like the way that I had been living didn't just change, you know, overnight, but that was the one pivotal shift that was like lights on, like you've got to shift out of this. I think I started doing the work when I got divorced, honestly. That was because I had been with him since I was 18 years old. And my whole identity was wrapped around what I thought he wanted me to be. And so moving out, like we separated with the intent to reconcile. So we were like trying to date and stuff to reconcile. And I didn't change. In fact, like being out of his, not knowing, also I'm a projector, he's a manifesting generator, not knowing that I was amplifying him. And that's why I took on that identity that I thought he wanted me to be. And so once I got out of his aura and like wasn't sleeping next to him at night and like had the space to myself and a home to myself, like to feel safe in your home. Like I had never felt safe in my home ever, like since a child, you know, like, yeah. So that was familiar until I got out of it and I had my own space. And I was like, seriously, I mean, that's projectors have to have that alone time. They have to sleep alone, or at least not next to a generator. I mean, some people can when they get used to it, but like obviously I couldn't and should not have been. But man, that totally changed my life that's when I really started the work because I had the space to. And, you know, I was a stay-at-home mom, so I enrolled in school. I hadn't been in school for, you know, over a decade at least. And getting to choose for myself, like what I was going to do with my life was not as something I had ever thought about. And so like to then choose, like just divinely have this, like immediately I knew enroll in massage therapy school. Like there was no question. And I went through the whole process. Like I had not lived on my own since I was 19 years old. And he took care of all the finances. He took care of like all the bills. And so getting out on my own and having to like figure all of that out on my own was super overwhelming. But I knew that it was what I was supposed to do because it was easy. It didn't feel like work to me. And I was so excited about it. And I was a terrible student before in school, like in college. It took me 5 years to get a 2-year degree. Like I was just a terrible student, but I aced massage school. Like I was present. I was there. I was passionate. I like tapped into this gift that I didn't even know I had. Like it was just so magical. And that is one of the things, like I would say, I am so grateful for my divorce. And I'm so grateful for all of that happened because I would have never gone to massage school. I would have never, I mean, maybe not never, but like it would look totally different than what it looks like right now. And maybe I would still be in my purpose, but I'm just so grateful that I have gotten the opportunity to do this journey of like exploring my gift and what I get to do and what I get to share with everybody. I mean, that is expansion, right? I mean, expansion happens outside of time. 2020 was when I was forced to stay in my power. So I was 42. And so in 5 years, I mean, I would say I'm a totally different person than I was 13 years ago, but 5 years ago, like that's when Jana and I met, or was it 2018 or 19?
We met at January of 2019.
So I had just sent my son away.
You were getting ready to, or something, or maybe you just had, or yeah.
So yeah, I mean, maybe 41, because that was a big, I mean, that was a big life-changing thing too. When my son was suicidal and he was cutting, and he was really struggling with his dad. And I had been really, really struggling at the time too. I had come on the other side of the suicidal episode, but my ex-husband had just gotten married. And that was like a whole other thing for me to like, the whole reason why I feel like, I mean, not the whole reason. One of the reasons why I consciously thought about when I got divorced was the fact that he was never there. Like he didn't treat me like a wife. He just kind of treated me like an object, and he wasn't a present father at all. Like I parented by myself basically, which I see as a gift now because I got to raise them the way that I wanted to. But it was like not what I signed up for when it came to parenting. And so there was always kind of this resentment that he was not the husband and father that I needed. And that, I think my son, he's open emotional. And then everybody, like my ex-husband and my two daughters, are emotionally defined. And so him and I are the ones that struggled with depression. Duh, no wonder. We're like filtering all the emotions of everybody in the house, you know? So he was struggling with his relationship with his dad because I was struggling with it, and he was taking a lot of that on. But I just needed to get him out of the environment that was making him sick. Like I just knew he needed to be in nature. He was also forming a gaming addiction. He was always like a really small kid, but everybody loved him. Like he was so funny and so outgoing and just so street smart. Like he saw people, you know, and he could make people laugh. And I just saw him slowly like lose all of that. And so I just needed to get him into like a different space. So he was at a wilderness camp for 11 weeks, and he was out in nature 24/7 for 11 weeks straight. I got to see him one time. They had no electronics, so they had to handwrite letters to us, and then we would email letters and they would print them off and send it to him. So I was really struggling with, my ex-husband giving this woman everything that I ever wanted, and then at the same time, like watching my son struggle so badly. And so that was about the time that I met Jana. And so that whole year, my son was gone because he had to go to a therapeutic boarding school after he went to the wilderness camp, which was in Idaho. So we went to Salt Lake City for the camp and then Idaho for school. And he was really, really doing well as far as like feeling confident and overcoming the depression. And I felt like he's such a homebody, and like if his family is so important, he had his pets here he was missing, and I just wanted to get him back home. And I had never signed up for this, for me to abdicate my role as a parent, but it was almost like I got pushed into it because, there's rules to follow and there's ways to do it. But the other big overarching part was that my ex's relationship with my son was not getting better. And I was trying to tell them, like, he's struggling with his father. Like, this is why he's acting like this. Somebody needs to help them repair, because it wasn't going to be me, because I hated the man. But I knew like my son needed some sort of like male support to help correct that whole thing. So I fought to bring him home. He had permission to come home and everything. And then my ex-husband filed a petition claiming that I was mentally ill and an unfit mother in January 17th of 2020. And it was probably the most devastating moment in my whole life. I mean, I don't even know how to explain it. It was so out of the blue. I never would have expected him to do that to me. And I was supposed to fly out the next week, on a Wednesday the next week, to pick up my son and bring him home from the school.
And then I had to have emergency court hearing on the day I was supposed to leave to go pick him up. And we filed our divorce in Wyandotte County, but both of us live in Johnson County. So the Wyandotte County judge didn't have jurisdiction over our case. But yet she allowed his attorney to drag out a trial for 4 hours where I sat on the stand and a character was attacked. My role as a mother was attacked. Like, my whole identity was attacked. I was on this stand. Like, it was a very surreal moment, but I have no idea how I fucking got through that. My mom and one of my best friends, Angela, were out like sitting with my judge. And my friend Angela, she was like, I wanted to get up there and kick your fucking lawyer's ass out and take over because he did not do a good job for you. Like, he did not represent you well. And that's why, I mean, he basically told me when we went in, because this list of things that in this petition were insane, like totally insane. Like, he said that I had the kids steal silverware from his house because I didn't give them I didn't provide anything for them, when really, like, they got it in a baggie that was set out in the garage sale, like, because my forks disappear. Or like, I took him to a meditation and he said I took him to a moon seance, like tried to make me look like this witch, like 17 pages of this insanity. And my lawyer looked at me, he was like, this is all just hearsay. Like, there's nothing in here, there's no proof of anything in here. He's like, the judge is just going to throw it away. Well, that is not how it happened. And ultimately, she ended up giving my ex-husband temporary custody of my daughters because she couldn't rule on it because it was outside of her jurisdiction. But his attorney made me look so terrible that she didn't even want to take the chance that my ex-husband was right about me. And so I proceeded to have to be in court, and like have this whole thing drug out for 3 years. So we were finally free of we ended up getting an attorney assigned to us to work out anything that we couldn't work out together, and a case manager. And so I had to fight to keep my kids from getting vaccinated. And this case manager ruled in favor of my ex-husband. So my kids had to get caught up on all the vaccines that I denied for them. So I had to, I don't know how, but I had to keep it together, because if I acted the way that I felt on the inside, I would be locked up. Like, I would have been seen as crazy and I would have proved him to be right. So I had to really, like, my emotional IQ, I went through a master class of being able to regulate my emotions without shutting them down, because it was impossible to shut down. So it was like I was in a situation, I had to process my emotions and I had to figure out how to not let it sabotage me. So that was probably my biggest shift as far as my self-development and my practice of what I had learned. Was I found the 4 agreements that don't take things personal, always do your best, be impeccable with your word. And I always forget the 4th one. Anyway, that helped me, like, don't take this personal, don't take this personal, don't take this personal. Like, I wasn't going to let him define me. I wasn't going to prove him right. And so it really forced me to stand up for myself and to be like, no, this is who I am. I'm a loving, nurturing mother who has a great relationship with her kids. And I just started acting from that. And that accelerated my expansion so fucking fast. Oh, yeah, because since then, like, the fact that I'm friends with this man now, like, the fact that we had this whole healing experience right before, we do this, not right before, but like, it's so in alignment. Like, now, like, I have the rest of the story to tell that is so wild. Like, I would have never imagined 13 years ago that I would say that my ex-husband is my friend, and like, I can think about being in the same room with him without having a panic attack. Like, I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm going to go be around Trey, because I don't let him. And that was a huge part of that shift too, was understanding the concept of being empowered and being in my power, because I really did not understand that before that all happened for sure. Like I knew the concept, but I wasn't embodying it. And this whole experience gave me the chance to embody that power, like to literally live it out. And that's wisdom, like knowledge in the body. You're living it out. My favorite quote from the OA, she says, knowledge is just a rumor until it lives in the body. And when I heard that quote, like it hit me, like sucked the wind out of me, because that's what I was like, that is the missing piece. That's when I totally came up with the concept of mindfully embodied. Like my first kind of business was called Mindfully Embodied. I still have a couple accounts with that name on it. And then I shifted it to Embodied Wisdom by Design because of that quote, because it hit me so hard of like, that was the missing pieces. I knew all these things, like I knew it. And I always kind of explained it. And when I went through the body mind coaching program, I explained it to my coach. I'm like, I feel like I'm in a glass, like dome, and I can see it on the other side. I just can't touch it because I got this, there's still something that is holding me back, but it's not real. I knew it was like a fear, or it was some belief or something, but I that like helped me dissolve that separation between what I really wanted, because that is what embodiment is. It's releasing the separation from your body. It's getting in your body and living life out from that place that is so powerful. You know, otherwise you're just kind of like watching life on a screen. That's how I felt. Like I was never really engaged. And then I learned the concept of embodiment through that quote, and it was very powerful. Knowledge is power through embodiment.
What?
So just about our friendship, or like how we started and what?
No. I met her right, like, so I found out about my ex's affair at the end of November of 2018. Yeah. And I met her in January of 2019. So just a few months after. I went in for a massage and energy session, but I had gotten her number from my ex. So I got her in the divorce. He was signed up to go to another breath work and all this stuff, and it was a lot of money. And he had heard about Jennifer through somebody,
My
through the
friend
singles
Renee.
mixer. Yeah. So, and I had asked him, I said, I don't know her. You know, this other person, yes, it's a lot more, it's a lot more money, but I really don't want to have to interview anybody. So, let's just stick with the plan of what we had. Like, I'm exhausted. And one, because this was a repeat offense with the affairs and stuff. So, anyhow, he met with Jennifer anyway, and
We met for coffee.
again, still didn't. Yes.
Because
Yeah, met for
that
coffee.
was my rule for taking on male clients, is I needed to meet them first, and like, because I work from my home. So yeah, I met with him we got coffee at like the grocery store down there.
Whole Foods. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whole Foods. And
so he tells me all about his wife, and then I meet her and I'm like, what? It was not who I expected. And then it clicked for me. I'm like, oh, now I know why they're getting divorced, because he doesn't actually see her.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So we hadn't connected all those dots, but he came home and was telling me about meeting with her, and it was great, but I think I'm going to go ahead and go with our original plan. And I'm like, okay, thank you. But also the betrayal that he went ahead and met with her, even though I had asked him not to. And it was nothing against her. It was everything about him. I was like, you could at least honor that, and he didn't. So anyway, but that's fine. But when I first went in to meet her, she asked me, what do you need? And I'm bawling, and is this normal? And then it wasn't until our second meeting, or my second session with her, that I finally let my guard down, because I asked her a couple of questions. One, because I didn't, like I explained, I didn't want more drama. I just didn't know who knew who, or who knew what yet, because I hadn't come out yet about what I was going through. So I didn't know how open I could be with her. And it wasn't until I was like, do you know so and so? And she was like, oh yeah, and she confirmed what the dangerous toxins that I felt about that person, my alarm bells, and she confirmed that, and I was like, oh, okay, she's my people. Like, and I knew it the minute I met her, but it was just like everything in me was on guard, and yeah, I sent that once that second meeting happened for me, I was just like, like I can't get enough of you. So, and then we've been through. I didn't realize how well our timelines. I knew we went through the shit together, but I mean, we literally went through the broken open and spilled out pretty much at the same time. So I don't know what was your what was your side of things and how I came in there that first.
Well, it's so interesting because when I met her, I was like, what the fuck is she? Like, her and Timmy did not match up for me at all, because I mean, I feel like because of my gift of being able to see people deeply, and when she initiated the session and came in, and just like I just saw her big heart, and I saw like it's so crazy because it was so I can't even describe, like, now, like, thinking back to it, the vision I had of just this. I was so excited for her because I was like, it was probably very similar to when I realized that I was getting divorced, or my ex-husband told me that I was getting divorced, and I went straight out to my car and I couldn't even breathe. I was like crying so hard, and I'm talking to my best friend, and she says, Jennifer, I know you cannot see this right now, but you're going to look back on this moment and you're going to realize that this was one of the best moments of your life. And I felt that for her. Like, I just knew when I saw her and the stage, like where she was at, I was just like, whoo, this woman is in a trance. She was in a megamorphosis. I don't even know what that was at the time. But I mean, it was like I was already seeing her like for who she really was. But then I could tell she wanted to see that person. And so I got to be this mirror when she said, I love you. And I want to say, like, you were experiencing your own love. Somebody was like channeling it back to you when you had all these people in your life that just took and didn't allow you to see your magic. And if somebody had just shown you that, you would have been fully in your power. And so, like, I got to be that person for you, and I knew it immediately. Like, I didn't know all of that immediately, but I knew, like, you and I were going to be doing some massive soul growth together. And I couldn't have even imagined how it went, how we are in this place right now. Like, are you kidding me? This was just 6 years ago.
I know.
Like, it's so crazy to.
Who would have thought that first meeting we'd be holding big toes here on my porch?
No kidding.
That's for bonus features, people. Yeah, it was definitely an instant like, oh, she's mine. And just the way that she articulated things, I was like, oh my God, like I literally have been searching for people my whole fucking life to just reflect this shit back to me that I give out so hard. And she's been so good to just be like, when are you gonna give that to yourself? Like, I thought I was. And then just so, like, I've been told what to do my whole life, which is just kryptonite for the manifester. Like, God, even if it was a great idea and I was about to do it, please don't tell me what to do. And the minute she met my womb woman, my mom, she was like, "You make so much sense." I love my mom, but oh boy.
Yeah. Well, I could just feel like
Oh,
you were such a strong person, and it was being channeled in a way that didn't serve you. Like, you had built up this resilience to life because of your childhood, because of your marriage, that you had to be strong and you had to be protective and you had to have your guard up. And so what you really needed was somebody to be very gentle with you and to just hold you. like your freaking amazing cocoon massage that you got. Like that's I was able to do that with you energetically, and it was like I could just feel how much you wanted to soften. And it's exactly like how I work with the tissue. When I work with the fascia, it's your defense system. And so it's on guard, and you can't punch into that because it just makes it guard up more. And so the way that I work is like wooing the tissue, like with just energy and gentle touch. And it's like and then it just surrenders. And so like that's how I felt like I approached Jana. Like I don't think I even knew what I was doing at the time. I just divinely flowed with what I felt like she needed at the time. And then it really helped me to kind of step into that whole concept of like holding space for somebody, you know.
Yeah. And it was so lovely to finally have somebody capable of holding me and me just going, huh, like I remember I was on your table at one point and I don't know, you did some essential oils and did something right here, and just all of a sudden I was just like, huh, huh, huh. I mean, I had like lakes in my ears, and I think I kind of chuckled, and I was like, hang on, I needed to like go this way and that way to empty.
It was so beautiful. It felt like success. It was like I get to hold this person while she sits with her feelings. And like I don't even, whether it's laughing or crying or shaking or, whatever, like I get to just hold space for it and watch like the beauty unfold. And so that was just like, oh, it's just success. That's all I can describe it as.
I mean, every time we would meet, and I would have a massage, whatever. I mean, I was going through like I was still working at Topgolf, and I was just having these spin outs, so I was kind of in survival mode for a little bit. But then after I realized, like, oh my God, every time I come in here, it's like I all of a sudden I'm like, oh, okay, 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 Um, and then I don't even know. I don't know if I like was like, what's your email? Can I call you? Like, I don't even know. I think maybe I was just like, hey, would you like to come out? I don't even know. It just
I
kind of
don't
morphed into it.
remember.
It was just natural. And
It was just like all of a sudden, like we were just a part of each other. I don't even remember like how it unfolded, or I don't even remember. I think
yeah,
she was just like, "You're my person now." Probably went to your house and smoked,
probably, probably. Yeah, that was so like
ate food. I don't know.
yeah, like once we started hanging outside of massages and stuff, I still did do the massages, but she was teaching me so much about just regulating, and we were just like this with each other. I mean, our synergy was just, I mean, I was fire for her when she was just when she was in her dark time, and so it's just this beautiful, I don't know, we just we healed.
Expansion bond.
We
It just
did.
Yeah,
It
happened.
it was
did.
like she was always a part of my life. Oh, I mean, I think that's what happens when you find a soul sister.
I
You
was
know,
literally thinking that it's like the soul family thing, it's like you just know. When you just know, and it feels easy, it feels aligned.
Yeah.
There's no confusion. All of the bullshit is out of it.
Yeah. 100%. It just like
Mhm.
like she was always there.
It just makes sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You
And
guys
it's
probably remember each other. I think soul family comes together from
yeah.
like, different times.
Mhm.
Wild.
We
Always
are all
cool.
aligned.
Wild.
It always is. It always is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always.
Just gotta trust. Yeah, that was good, y'all. Love y'all so fucking much. Amazing things to come. And that was a holy shit roller coaster. Amazing. Love you so much.
Love you.
Mwah, mwah,
Thank you. Mwah.
mwah.